Hey, Kimberly Olson here, also known as the Gold Digger Girl, coming in live for this episode of #GetLit, where we crush your business in less than 10 minutes. And today we're going to talk about how to get more eyes on your stories by building up your know, like, and trust factor. Who wouldn't like to get more sales, more leads through stories? I mean, it's not going away. In fact, have you seen it's rolled out everywhere? It's on LinkedIn, it's on Pinterest. Everybody's trying to have stories. So if you understand this for one platform, obviously you can utilize this for all, but it goes to show how important this is. So that's what we're going to talk about. So we're going to look at Mary Had a Little Lamb to exemplify what we're trying to do here. So what we want to do is we want to get people to spend more time with us in our stories, okay? So why don't you guys put in the comments below, let me know how often you're posting in your stories. How many stories are you putting out each day? So it's not about frequency as far as I post once an hour. I want to know how many stories per day. So is it 5? Is it 1? Is it 20? I want to know. Okay, Mary Had a Little Lamb. This is from Steph Dankin, my girl Steph Dankin. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, see Mary? See her little face? Oh no, that's Mary. That's the sheep. Okay, there's Mary. Maybe I should have looked at this book before I opened it. The lamb was sure to go. So you're learning all about Mary and her little sheep. It followed her to school one day, which was against the rule. It made the children laugh and play to see a lamb at school. Okay, now why is this important? All right, I'm seeing 8 to 13. Oh, that's good. Nice job. 5 to 6. I do about 8 to 10. Okay, good. Well, that's above average, you guys. Most people aren't even posting in their stories every day. Now, why did we have to read this story about Mary? Because we want to start thinking about stories like a little storybook. We don't want to have these, tons of disjointed stories where it's, you're like, oop, getting organized, got a little sticky note, and then you're like, coffee time, and then you're in a little selfie and you're like, #blessed. Because the reason why you don't want to do that is because it's disjointed. So at any minute, someone might get bored and pop off, right? Like that's going to happen anyway. But the likelihood of somebody continuing from story to story to story is if they're connected in some way, just like this little book. So what I want to challenge y'all to do is when you're building out your story sequence, and I like to actually create them all at once, and I like to do it at night. If you guys know me, I stay up late. That's how I make it all happen when my family is sleeping, because if they're here, it's just useless. So I work late at night. That's when I do my creative stuff. And what I do is I'll build out all my stories at once, and then I post them, a couple times a day. And what I do is I ask myself, and this is what I want you to do. How could I create a story around this? So let's say you get a really great testimonial from a customer, and they're just raving about the products. It's changed their life, the results they're getting, whatever it looks like. How could you turn that into a story sequence? Well, what you could do is you could create a story that says, I love getting messages like this from my customers. Like you could just write that out and you could put an arrow. So if you're looking at this right now and you put on the right side of your phone, if you put the arrow pointing that way, that will prompt people to click through to the next story. But you're kind of giving them a call to action with that arrow. But what you're doing is you're creating some intrigue here. I love getting messages like this from my customers. So people go, ooh, what's that, right? They click to the next slide. And then you are going to have either the text message, the message, of course, get permission from the customer. I like to record the audio. If they're talking in Messenger, I like to record it, split that up, and put on there what it is that they said. And maybe it's more than one slide. Maybe you can have one and then you add to it, use some GIFs to it to kind of round out the story. So maybe you break that up into a couple of stories. Then you do another story. Maybe it's a picture of you pointing. Maybe it's an image of some sort with a poll. Ask a question, create a poll. Use the quiz feature if you're watching this on Instagram. And what happens is you have just taken what would just be ooh, so excited about this customer testimonial. You've turned it into 4 slides, possibly, maybe 5. And so what happens is the more time people spend with you, that is how you build up your know, like, and trust factor. It's the more time. So if you're sitting here going, well, I'm not getting anyone reaching out to me, I'm not getting any new customers, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I want you to be really honest with yourself and ask, are you creating content out there that is getting people to spend time with you? Or are you just, hanging out? Like there's a big difference if you want to build on social media. So if you can get them spending more time in the stories, what they're doing is they're starting to train their brain that when they see your little circle with your story at the top, or now that landscape or portrait shape on Facebook, they're training themselves to go, ooh, I wonder what Kimberly's doing. Because the more time that they spend in your stories, it gets them into that kind of knee-jerk reaction to click the next day and see what's going on, or later that day, because they're getting to know you. They're starting to like your content. They like to see what you're doing, your kids are doing. They feel good when they're around your content. So I want you to start thinking of it that way. We want to get them to spend more time. The other thing that happens is if people are in your stories and they're not popping off right away, the algorithm can detect that. And so they like that. Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're hanging out, it likes that. So now you are boosting up your algorithm rating. If you didn't watch it, I just did a Facebook Live on my business page. If you go to my business page on Facebook, The Goal Digger Girl, I did 5 social media hacks for 2021. You need to watch it. Like, that's going to help all of you so much. But we're going to increase your rating, your algorithm rating. So what this is going to do, it's going to push your picture to the front. So when people pull up their app, you're going to be at the top. Isn't that where you would want to be? And if they click it, then it's telling Instagram or Facebook, ooh, so-and-so likes to see Kimberly's stories. I will show that person more of Kimberly's stories as she creates more content. So now you're getting in front of them. They're seeing you more, and you are more likely to get in front of new people when you understand everything that I'm saying, okay? You are more likely to get in front of new people if you are doing a good job with the current people that you have. So you should be friending new people every single day on Facebook. You should add new followers on Instagram every single day. When those new people come, we want them to see your stories. If you're being lame about this and you're not posting every day in your stories, or you post one thing a day, you're not going to beat the algorithm. You're just going to fall to the back of the line. And, we don't want to think of, competition and scarcity, but we do want to think about doing our very best. And this is a competitive, it's a competitive space. So doing your very best to connect with the people who want to see your content is the name of the game. So to build up your know, like, and trust factor and get in front of more people, number one is you want to build a story sequence. So go back and watch the beginning of this. Go back and think about this. How can you create a story with what you're sharing? Then what I want you to do is I want you to create engagement with those stories. Use polls, quizzes, ask a question, tell them, DM you, to invite people into your inbox. I've said, oh my gosh, I'm looking for some activities to do with the girls at home, as winter started. And all these people were messaging me ideas of things that I could do, like crafts and things like that and projects. Does it help to get in the DM and in the inbox and be talking to people? Yeah, that's where you build relationships, right? So invite people to come and DM you and have a conversation with you. And then being consistent, making sure you're producing new stories every single day, multiple stories. You don't want to just have a few. That's going to get more time. You're going to want to be consistent. And the last thing I want to say about stories is you want to show people who you are. So we want to sprinkle inspiration. We want to sprinkle in vulnerability. Like, is there something on your mind that you want to talk about? I like to do video where I'll hold the phone and talk for up to 60 seconds, and I'll split those up into 4 stories. There you go. There's a way to make a story sequence with video, and I'll put that in there. And people are getting to hear me. They're getting to hear my voice, hear my inflection, what's on my heart. What did I want to share that day? I do that often when I'm running. And I'll just stop and have something to say, because thoughts always come to me when I'm running. But do you think that helps people on the other end feel like they're getting to know me? If I'm just out running, I'm all sweaty and I'm like, hey, I want to tell you this, right? But you can use it to inspire. You can use it to connect. You can use it to create engagement, vulnerability. You can use stories to educate. So let's say you're in health and wellness. Could you put a finished recipe, a picture of a recipe, maybe show the ingredients, picture with the ingredients, show you prepping it with some videos, some boomerangs, show the finished product. And then the next story says, to get this recipe, click here, or to get this recipe, click the link in my bio, or to get the recipe, message me. And then you send them to your Facebook group where the recipe is. Could you do that? Yes, you could. Okay. Educate and entertaining. Okay. Those are the elements to connecting with other people. And you can do that in your stories. Okay. So this is your homework. I want you to, the next time you want to post something in your stories, I want you to ask yourself, how could I build a story around this, a story sequence where I am posting multiple stories talking about that one concept? So yes, you're going to have to put your creativity hat on, but I know you can do it because you are committed. You're committed to your goals. And a big part of that is to get out of your comfort zone. Stop telling yourself you can't do it. Pull up your big girl panties, put them on real high, nice and tight, and make it happen. Can you guys do that for me? Okay. So if this is helpful, share it in your stories. Tag me at the Goal Digger Girl, telling me your favorite part about it, and I will give you a shout out just for listening and watching along, and then implement that action step as well. Until next time, get lit in your business and set your soul on fire. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.